if you have just a flame, you're a flame you have just nothing around you. Imagine if you're a flame and you're burning bright, and you're just burning bright, and in the middle of an expanse of nothingness. And then of course a moth's going to go straight to it, right? And if you are, build your fortress, so strong, and you can come to the door, you can come to the window to see who's there. You'll have a window, you can see who's there. And if it's moth, you can be like, get out of here, moth. But the moth won't even be attracted anymore because there's this huge fortress. Hello, potatoes, and welcome back to another collective reading. And let's get right into it. My nose is already itching, so spirit must be ready. All right, so let's see. What is today's collective message going to be about? Assertiveness. This situation can be healed gently and with love, as you've requested. Yet there's also a need for your strength and truthfulness with the other people involved. We will stand right behind you as you speak your truth, giving you strength and guiding your words. So, is there something that has gone unsaid that you are being guided right now to say? Have you felt like, I don't know, sometimes with people, you can feel like if you give too much of yourself, that they may take advantage of that. Is that how you're feeling? Yes. Okay, so I see some withholding here with the Four of Pentacles. So a feeling of very guardedness, feeling as though maybe trying to keep your energy to yourself. And then you also got the High Priestess, which is another sort of maybe even keeping your ideas to yourself and trying to keep everything tightly close to you, like everything, and almost too that people might even not know what you're truly thinking or feeling, that there's this facade maybe even going on, a facade that you're putting up to show others maybe a happier side of yourself, or maybe to not be so aggressive or assertive, that you're not really like saying truly what you mean and feel. And so people might be getting mixed messages, maybe, and well, maybe not even mixed messages, is that other people outside of you see something. They see the version that you're presenting to them, and maybe they don't know all this other stuff is going on within because you kept it hidden from them. So let's see, what else, Spirit, would you like to say about that? Connection, relationships, connecting with how you feel with others, letting other people know how you feel, sharing your feelings, telling people, oh my gosh, the thing that I always talk about in life, how important it is with relationships, is communication. Communication is so essential. I tell this to my partner all the time about people in his life. He tends to be a people pleaser. And I always am trying to remind him that people don't understand the chaos that you're experiencing within until you let them know. Because my husband tends to experience a lot of stress with work, and he finds himself stretched so thin. But I think he sort of has manifested that into his reality because he's this, people pleaser. So he only ever sees reflected around him is all of these, situations that are pulling him in different directions. And he never really tells people how he feels and how stressed out he is, or how, but also I try to continue to tell him that, you just need to communicate where you are at, because people, and they're genuinely, like, well, most people are empathetic, and they want to, they don't want you to feel torn in so many directions, or feeling one side internal, in negative. Like, they don't want you to feel negativity in situations. So it's just communicating where you're at to be able to bridge the gap of understanding, if that makes sense. Is that this person's over here doing this, you're over here doing this malfunctioning thing, but you're presenting one thing, so this person's seeing, oh, everything's fine, and they're like, let's go do the thing that I said we were going to do, but you have so much that you're not showing inside. So Spirit really wants you to just let people know where you're at, so that they can meet you where you're at. And until you communicate that, they can't. And they, we're not mind readers. People aren't mind readers. They can't read someone's thoughts yet. Some people can, I think. I don't know. But until we have further developed our ESP, we are guttural, like meat tube creatures, where we're making little noises, and that's the only way somebody's going to understand what's going on in your internal world, until you guttural that the noise of it out. Open to the universe. I am discovering my worth and my abilities. I have confidence in my value and my potential. I reclaim my inner power. I accept and love myself completely. Thus, I am open to the divine light of the universe. So maybe this is a little bit to do with some insecurities, potentially for some, is feeling as though there might be some worthiness issues going on if you struggle with telling people, hey, this is where I'm at. You need to meet me at this place. The place that I'm at, because this is all that I have to give. So there might be a little bit of feeling as though your voice might be dimmed, and you're dimming it because there might be some worthiness issues there. So Spirit really wants you to let you know, is to know that you are of value, that your words are of value, that you are, that you can take up space here, and that you can demand that your needs are met. And that just as important as other people's activities and desires and wants are to them, yours are to you. So taking space, taking up space here, taking up space is really key to surviving life, for sure. Flowers, happiness. Oh, I like that. I'll show you these in a second. I'll get a couple. So we have flowers, happiness. There's a bird in it, a blue bird, if that means anything to anyone. Chair empty. Someone is leaving your life. All right. So for some, this is going to be pretty brutal. Some people are taking too much of your energy. And I never am a proponent of cutting somebody completely off. You can cut somebody off energetically. You don't have to cut people out of your life. I've done that in my life in my younger years. And what I realized is that all it was doing was, I know in the spiritual community, there's this thing about like cutting people off, cutting people off, cutting people off, cutting people off. And I don't support that. I understand for more serious matters, obviously there are certain situations where people need to be removed that are, when you come to the darker energies and stuff of like behaviors. But when somebody's just annoying or somebody might be an energy drain, if these people are important to you, you love and care about them, you don't have to remove them completely from your life. But what you can do, and the first step before completely cutting somebody off, and which people don't really start with the first step, and which frustrates me, is that boundaries. You set your boundaries, and you might have to set them a few times, especially with people that may push them, and especially if you have been up until this point a people pleaser, is to set your boundary, and if people push against it, you reassert the boundary, and they might push again, and give people a few chances, because you have to understand is most people that push boundaries, they're just like little babies. They're, they just are trying to get their way. And it's like having a temper tantrum. If you ever see that show, Super Nanny, Super Nanny, she always, it's the same thing. Like, or is it Super Nanny? I know it's one of those nanny shows, but basically there's this a nanny that comes into the home, and for people that haven't seen this, she comes in and there's just these kids that have been running amok. And, kids are going to be kids. They're going to push things as far as they can because they want to get their way. And so the nanny comes in and she starts setting boundaries and rules and expectations. And the kids don't like it. Obviously, they preferred the way that they had it set, And so when when she starts putting down those boundaries, the kids push back. They push back, and they keep pushing back, and they keep pushing back. But guess what? They keep getting met with the boundary. Nope, we're sticking to this time. We're sticking to it, and we're not. And what they learn, and they see that this thing is not happening, and there usually is this explosion that happens right before things become okay and the person respects it. And I actually had this happen recently in my life, actually with a few people, where it did explode. And but what I found is after that is that things became okay. And you might think that stating something is going to putting down a boundary is going to ruin your relationship, especially if you're this more timid person that struggles with assertiveness and keeps things inside. And if you're that type of person, it might be difficult to think that if I assert myself, if I set boundaries, oh no, that this person might not like me anymore, or I won't have any friends, or people are going to hate me. And especially if you're a people pleaser, that people pleasing mentality didn't come from nowhere. It comes from a part of you that feels in such need to keep things okay with people, no matter your experience of that situation. So the other person might be experiencing it as pleasurable, and you're experiencing lots of discomfort. But for you, their comfort is more important. And so there's a need for happiness here, is to put your happiness over someone else's, and to be okay with the empty chair, to be okay with the empty chair, because you never know, how do I want to word this? Just because somebody has a negative reaction to you doesn't necessarily mean that you are wrong, especially when it comes to a boundary. If you set a boundary and somebody has a negative experience to it, that's just their thing. You got to let them work that out. You got to let them have their temper tantrum, let them have their tantrum, and then everything will sort of work itself out. And they might have a few temper tantrums. You just have to be okay with that, because to be okay with that means to be okay with yourself. You eventually, that's the goal, is to just be okay within, to not feel this tearing apart. So let's see. What else, Spirit? What else would you like to say here? Just want to say that I appreciate you being here with me today. And I hope that, oh, I'll take both of these because it says relationships are assignments. And I hope you all are having a beautiful day. Wow, these are actually very similar colors going on. There's no... Okay, let your inner fire warm you, not burn you. Relationships are assignments. Okay, so with that is your inner fire. Your inner fire, the stuff that you are feeling. All of that is very important. It's not, if you are feeling, like crap, if you are feeling like crap, if somebody is coming into your, or a situation, it doesn't have to be a person necessarily, a situation is coming in and intruding upon your life and and no one makes you feel anyway, it's your choice to feel that way. But if their influence is creating an energy of discomfort within you, that's your signal to let this person know that something is wrong. And first to admit to yourself, there's something wrong here, and I'm going to do everything I can to make me okay, because I'm important. And relationships are assignments. The people that come into your life and reflect something negative to you, that is it's a hint. It's a big hint of the things that are out of alignment with you. So if somebody comes in and is like, they're just like, and you're like, oh, inside, but not, and you're smiling on the outside, that to you is a big hint. There is something out of alignment with you. And it's to do with your taking care of you. You're putting yourself less than somebody else or a situation. And there needs to be care taken. Oh, a little snail. What is this guy? Is he actually alive? Oh no. It's a little snail shell from the potted plant. Let me just double check. Is this guy alive? Oh, actually, he is alive. I'll put him back. Well, if a snail, let's see, what is the, oh, a snail. He has a shell. I thought he was dead, but he's not. That might be symbolic for all of this. Is a snail inside of its shell and almost dead, maybe. We're not sure if he's dead yet. No, you're never dead. You can come out of that shell and tell people how you're feeling. Get some exercise. As your body becomes stronger, you begin to feel stronger in all ways. Yes, exercise this muscle. I know, okay, so it's easy for me. I have very strong boundaries. I grew up in, I would say, a pretty chaotic situation. I think most people do. But I felt sort of like a victim to circumstance. So I feel very strong. When I feel like something's wrong, I say something's wrong. I let people know. I'm like, this doesn't feel right to me. And so I am very vocal with my boundaries, because to me, what my boundaries mean for me is they are a way that I can stand up for myself. Because I don't have anybody else around me to stand up for me. So I know that if I stand up for myself, that I get to take care of me. And there was a part of me when I was younger that felt very unwatched out for. That's just, like just a victim to circumstance, basically. And so today I have maybe even too strong of boundaries sometimes, which I try to tone down when I can. I have to remind myself not everybody is, trying to hurt you, which is something, I struggle with. I think we all have our issues. But just like anything that's new, if you're a people pleaser, then exercising, what could you do right now if you feel this, like people are taking your energy or you're frustrated by somebody and you don't know what to say? What could you do right now that would be a small step in setting some type of boundaries? You don't even have to talk to the person it could be the small step of making a promise to yourself that the next time something happens, that you're going to speak up for it. Or it could even be smaller than that. It could be getting a piece of paper out and writing a letter to this person that you never even send. It could just be the simple act of getting in touch with how you feel, because it looks like there's a lot of withholding. There's a lot of withholding. And so maybe even letting that out of the bag for you, maybe admitting to yourself that, hey, I have feelings. There's a lack of getting in touch with that. And I have feelings and I'm frustrated and, feeling that. All right, let's pull one of these animal cards. Let's see what kind of animal you are. But yeah, exercise it. Do one little thing here and there, make a promise to yourself that you're going to stick to it. Stick to it. Fox. I'm going to pull another one because I feel guided to. Fox. Sly fox. Oh, I see. A reminder. Oh, I love it. Okay, sorry. That's so great. Okay, so you got fox and moth. And my first thought with moth was like a moth to the flame. And okay, so foxes are sly and whatever. So just a reminder here is that, okay, people aren't evil. I'm not saying that. Situations aren't evil. That, whatever this is that's, that you're not speaking up about and whatever. They're not evil. It's just what you're attracting. It's just what you're attracting. And people, just as like the fox, you're gonna have to understand is that if somebody is pushing your boundaries, or maybe lack thereof, maybe that you have none, they're just pushing you. They've made it through and they're just slamming up against you. A fox. Think of a fox as sly. People are going to they're going to want their way until they realize that they can't have their way. So if you're met with resistance, like I said, think of the super nanny thing. Treat a person that's like this with you like a child. They're trying to get their way. And so, in trying to get their way, there's gonna be some maybe potential like manipulative behaviors. So, like they might be trying to circumvent the boundaries, but just hold firm and with love too. These are people you care about. These are loved ones. These are friends. They're not trying to, they're not evil. They just want their way. That's, it's just like they want to enjoy life to the fullest. And that's part of it, is getting their way here. And so just keep in mind that people may try to circumvent the boundaries and they're testing them. So like a fox, think of a fox. He's like, they're pretty smart. They know, I think they can get into some pretty like intricate little things. That's at least the image I'm getting. So I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But they're testing things. They're curious. And so you might get some testing of your boundaries, but just hold firm. And like a moth to the flame, though, baby, is that these people and situations are going to be attracted to you until they no longer are. Until that flame that says, "Hi, I'm a people pleaser. You can shit here." until until that light goes out, that flag gets pulled down, that signal, that beacon is cut off within you, and there's a new beacon of boundaries. I mean, think about it. Is like if you've got like this. If you have just a flame, you're a flame and you have nothing around you. Imagine if you're a flame and you're burning bright, and you're just burning bright, and in the middle of an expanse of nothingness. And then of course a moth's going to go straight to it, right? And if you build your fortress so strong, and you can come to the door, you can come to the window to see who's there. You'll have a window, you can see who's there. And if it's moth, you can be like, "Get out of here, moth." But the moth won't even be attracted anymore, because there's this huge fortress, this fortress of boundaries that says, "Hey, I'm not available for this input, whatever situation." So yeah. What else we got? Did I pull from this? Yes, I did. What do we want? Let's do this. I think we're coming to a close here. Any last words, Spirit? Until they're sent back to the foxes. Rhiannon, sorceress, you are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. Just know that you're like super duper awesome. Does that make sense? Just know that you're so super duper awesome that like you don't have to put up with situations in your life that don't, and that you can still love people. You can still love people. I think there's this weird thing in the spiritual community is like, cut this person, cut that person. Get that. This evil thing's coming into they're energy vampires. They're sucking off of you. And I'm sure, yes, that it can feel like that. And some situations are probably like that. But most situations aren't. People are genuinely good. There's a really good quote. Alexander Schnitzson. Oh my gosh, I'm butchering the last name. But it's talking about like, if only there were evil people doing evil deeds, and I'm butchering this quote. And if we were only able to like remove them or something, but the line of good and evil strikes the heart of every man. I butchered that, but look it up if you want. And it's so true, is that people aren't evil. They're not trying to hurt you. They're just trying to get their own needs met. And some people have, trickier needs. They might have like a cup that's just so it's just got a hole in the bottom. And so you got to give like empathy for those people, but you don't have to let them, suck you dry either. And you don't have to keep filling their cup. Maybe mentioning to them too that, hey, I've noticed this pattern within you. Maybe that could be a step for them potentially, realizing, hey, oh, wait, they might be right. This thing keeps happening and I keep experiencing the same thing with people. Maybe it's me. So yeah, just you are a magical person. You are awesome. And I think that is why people are so attracted to you. They are so attracted to your awesomeness and your beauty, and they know that you're so kind and loving. And it's not an evil thing. It's just that they see that. And they want to be around it. And they just really love being around you. But also boundaries, because just as much as it's important that you give love to others, you give love to yourself. And giving love to yourself, step one, is respecting your own boundaries and having everybody around you respect them. And that's it for me today. I hope that I didn't do, oh, you're going to say, okay, fine, I'll do it. I was going to skip over it, but Spirit was like, you didn't do the thing. Okay. Here's one last card that's just for you. Abundance. All right, potatoes, I hope that message received you well. Oh, I forgot. I didn't introduce you to my plant. Here's my plant that I rescued from the dumpster. He's had a winter inside, so he's not doing the best, but I will be putting him outside. I just wanted to introduce you. His name is Frank. He's been in my bedroom because for the winter, and then he goes back outside for the summer to enjoy all of the abundance of sun. Anyways, Frank and I say goodbye, and I hope that you have a blessed day. Peace out. What up?